Hello, my dear students. Welcome to history class. Today we are going to study chapter 5, the foundation of Mughal Empire. So, students, the Mughal Empire in India was founded by Zahiruddin Babur. So, how they got the name called Mughals here? So, Babur's ancestors were Taimur on his father's side and Genghis Khan on his mother's side. So, the Mongol ancestry, because of the Mongol ancestry, they got the name Mongols here. So, Babur, he was only 11 years old when he inherited a small piece of kingdom in Fargana in Central Asia, and he used to dream to conquer the whole places of Central Asia, but all his dream went unsuccessful, and finally he returned towards the eastwards and he captured Kabul in 1504. So that time he had heard about India, that is, India was a very rich country, and he was making plans to go towards India. So that time in India, Ibrahim Lodi, he was ruling India, and he had angered a large sections of nobility. So in that, Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, and even Rana Sangha of ruler of Mewar, they did not want Ibrahim Lodi to rule. They wanted to end up the Lodi rule. So they will give a invitation to Babur to come and invade India and defeat Ibrahim Lodi here. So Babur, he came to India, he occupied the parts of Punjab in 1524 year. So Daulat Khan and even Rana Sangha, they did not want Babur to stay here. They wanted him to go back in 1525. So like that, he defeated Daulat Khan's army in Punjab and he went towards Delhi now. So next we'll see the first battle of Panipat takes place here. So Ibrahim Lodi, he came to India with a huge but very unorganized and indisciplined army. So when compared to Ibrahim Lodi and Babur, Ibrahim Lodi's army was very big, whereas Babur's army was very small and well trained army. So they will have a war at Panipat on 21st April 1526. Ibrahim Lodi was defeated and his army was completely destroyed. So next we'll see what were the main reasons for the Babur's success here. So Babur, he used artillery. So this artillery, it was unknown for Ibrahim's army, and his army was very small, but the soldiers were well trained in cavalry, etc. Babur was much more competent general than Ibrahim Lodi here. So like that, Babur, he occupied Delhi and Agra. At Agra, the ruling family of Gwalior, they presented a famous Kohinoor diamond to Babur's son Humayun. So with the conquest of Delhi, Babur, he led the foundation of Mughal Empire in 1526 and he made Agra as his capital. Then you can see Babur, he started to defeat all the forces of Rajput rulers in 1527 and the Afghan chiefs of Bengal and Bihar in 1529. So now Babur's empire, it started to extend from river Oxus. So Oxus is in Afghanistan. So from there till Bihar in the east. So Babur, he could not strengthen his hold over his conquest. Finally, he died in 1530. So Babur, he was not only the ruler and he was not only conquering the places, but he was a good scholar also. Okay, scholar of Turkish and Persian languages. So like that, he recorded his experiences in a book called Tuzuki-i Babri. Okay, so in this book you can see all the experience of Babur. It is written here. And the next ruler, that is Babur's son Humayun, he will come to the throne in 1530. Okay, so after the battle of Kannauj in 1540, he loses his empire to Sher Shah, and Sher Shah was a Afghan chief of Bihar. So after that, Humayun, he was wandering for 15 years, and in 1542, while he was in Amarkot, his wife Amida Begum will give birth to Jalaluddin Akbar. Okay, and later on you can see in 1555 Humayun, he recaptured Delhi and Agra, and he will establish the Mughal rule in India, and he will die in 1556 after a fall from the library at Purana Killa. So next we'll see about the Sur Sultan here, because Sher Shah, he will inherit the Mughals empire here, isn't it? So we'll see about Sher Shah here. So Sher Shah Suri, his real name was Farid, and he was the son of Hassan Suri, and he was Hassan Suri was a Afghan Jagirdar of Sasaram. It is in Bihar. So he rose from being a landholder to a ruler of Delhi here, and he started Sur dynasty. So Sher Shah, he lost his mother, and he was ill treated by his stepmother. So like that, Sher Shah, he will leave his home and he will enter the service of the rulers of Bihar, and there he receives the title called Sher Khan. So how he received the title Sher Khan? By killing a tiger with a single handed, he will receive the name Sher Khan. Okay, earlier his name was Farid, he will receive the name Sher Khan here. Okay, and after getting the name Sher Khan, he will enter into the Babur's service in 1527, and he closely watches the military techniques of Mughals, and he will return to his father's Jagir at Sasaram, and he acquired a fort of Chunar through marriage here. Then Sher Shah, he became very powerful in the region around Bihar and Bengal. So that time Humayun, he was very busy in Gujarat, and Sher Shah, he captured Gwar, the capital of Bengal, and like this he will give a open challenge to Humayun here. Okay, so Sher Shah, he will defeat Humayun at Chausa in 1539, and later again in Kannauj he will defeat Humayun in 1540, and like this Humayun's Mughal empire will be taken away by Sher Shah, and Sher Shah, he will establish Sur dynasty there. Okay, Sur dynasty. He ruled for a short period of only 5 years, that is from 1540 to 1545, and his empire was extended from Bengal to Indus, excluding Kashmir. So next we'll see about Sher Shah's administration. Sher Shah's administration was very popular. Even Akbar also he followed Sher Shah's administration. Okay, so he gave importance to two things here, that is for the well-being of his subjects and personal supervision of administration. And Sher Shah he directly controlled the administration, and he went on tours to inspect the administration here. Okay, he was helped by the council of ministers, and who advised him on all important matters here. Sher Shah he divided his province into sarkars. Sarkars means district, and these were placed under three main officers. Okay, the officers who were in charge of finance, law and order, and army here. The officer who collected taxes, and the quasi or the chief judge here. Okay, the sarkars were again divided into parganas, and which were further divided into villages. So these villages were under officers who were held responsible for any crime or default in payment of taxes. These village officials they also took care of safety of roads, and even there was a good spy system also. So children, I hope today's topic is clear to you all. So we will wind up our class today, and we'll continue our land revenue in our next class. Okay, thank you children, have a nice day.